This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, 4 more teams will take the stage for the first time and make a run for the game's biggest trophy. Of course, we're talking about VAL Champions, folks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2. Of course, we're coming at you live here in Seoul at the COEX Artium, I want to say. I saw it on the, I think I nailed it. Okay,
yeah.
somewhere Achilles and Paper Thin are yelling at me. Of course, I'm Golden Boy here at the desk. We're joined alongside Mimi and the birthday boy, Tom Biz. Mr. Business is in the house. By the way, we care so much about you. We got you a cake. We got you a cake, Tom.
Did you?
We did. But here's the
food up here, right?
It's so freaking hot outside that it melted before it even got here. So what we did is we made one in a JPEG. And we just want to say happy birthday, Tom.
Has technology gone too far?
Oh, it definitely has. There you go. Because the cake didn't make it. But if you want to eat it, it's right outside of the mall, melted on the floor.
We paid like a whole 99 cents licensing that photo for you.
Yeah.
As our special
I didn't even show it.
So happy birthday.
Can we get the glare?
By the way, Mimi was going to sing happy birthday for you. Right, Mimi?
Yeah, I did. I heard the rehearsal. It was really impressive.
No?
That's my one big thing.
That's your one big thing.
It was like it was like Pavarotti, right? But now you want to do it live.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you what that is.
All right, folks. Well, make sure you're in the chat welcoming Tom and giving him a warm happy birthday as well.
Welcoming him. He was just born, actually. That's why it's his birthday.
Yeah. You look so satisfied. It's
17
great.
today.
17.
Congrats.
No, you're. How's your knees though? Because you're 30, so you know your hips are going to be all feeling it at this.
They still work. They still work. Just about.
That's okay. There'll be a couple cranks in there, and you'll start to feel the pain. All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about what happened yesterday on this stage. Yes, you can. You can put it down for sure. We started things off with a Madrid rematch. We had a rematch all over the place yesterday. Gen G versus Sentinels kicked things off, and I mean, look, I think it's safe to say Gen G is just on another level right now. They're so good.
Yeah, I mean, this match was like, okay, you lost to a boss at level 1, you go back and play him again at like level 30 and just dunk on them. It was kind of night and day from that Madrid final. Gen G were playing some fantastic Valorant. I think really shutting down Sentinels, especially on map 2. They couldn't find a solution, but the second match was just a banger as well. Team Heretics, I think, impressing a lot of people by staying resilient despite FPX's crazy gameplay that series.
But it's still, they still haven't been able to get over that hump that is Heretics. They have their number every time, man. It's scary.
FPX is my favorite team in this event. Like, genuinely. I love watching them so much. They're so much more creative than a lot of other people. I think their bind, where they were coming out with like the craziest counter you could think of, like, was it a good comp?
No.
No, but did it work for them? And did they have a playstyle that interrupted and basically disrupted everything the Heretics were trying to do? Yeah.
They're the
so
worst nightmare of the Twitter analysts.
Somewhere out there, Anders is having a breakdown.
Yeah.
The more you use the word optimal, the more you hate them.
Yep, that's right. Of course, though, that was a tough loss for FPX. Regardless, Heretics are going to be moving on. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at our bracket for Group B. So we are on the precipice of watching yet another Heretics Gen G matchup. The last time it was exciting. This time I'm expecting it to be equally as exciting, especially considering Heretics are at full power now with their entire roster. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all breaks down, but that is for a later day. Now, even though we caught day 1 of the competition for Group B, let's go ahead and dive into Group A, because we have a lot to talk about. We also have some hot takes that we're gonna break down here. So get your peppers out. We got hot takes, people. Where's my pepper? Oh no! I got my pepper right here. I found it. I found it.
So responsible.
All right. So if you watch Americas, you know how we do this. Okay, we got the mild.
Well, how do we do it then?
You got the pretty spicy. Here, because you don't watch Americas.
No,
and
never.
then we got the extreme heat. So we are gonna start with the birthday boy, Tomathan. Go ahead.
His name.
Let us know what is your hot take.
I was saying that if FPX has had different matchups in Shanghai, they would have got top 4.
Wow. Okay. That is
Top 4. Who
Top
was at
4.
that event?
See, this is where my thought process comes in, is that
Yeah.
I feel like there were a lot of teams not
What
at full strength.
matchup would
And
they
I
have
think they
gotten?
could have beaten a lot of teams.
I would say it's pretty spicy. I would say it's pretty spicy.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm guessing I don't
that's-
rate my own take.
You can rate your own take.
Yeah,
it's your
I would
birthday.
say
Mild,
that is
because I think it's true.
I think that's
believe-
extremely spicy. I mean, the amount of teams that they would have had to beat, the amount of like increased resiliency they would have had to show to even win
Yeah,
those games.
but they almost beat Heretics, who got to the final, and they took a map off Gen G, who were the winners. So
But neither of those teams were in the best form at the beginning of the tournament. They both accelerated into it and got really
But
good
what
towards the
matters
end.
was them getting through
yeah,
and getting
they
top
beat
4.
Foot as well, like a decent team to
That's fair.
start off against.
The emphasis on decent, not top 4 in the world.
No, but then they went up against the 2 best teams at the time.
And lost.
And lost in the close. They lost by like 2 rounds, or literally a couple of rounds in giga overtime versus Heretics.
It's not insane.
No,
It's not insane, 'cause
I would say extreme heat would imply I'm insane.
Yeah, I definitely would say you're overthinking it as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't happen.
Insane would be like drinking fire.
Yeah.
Extreme
Do we
heat
need
is
a
like
new,
a
we
hot
need a
pepper.
new heat. We need
All
a new
right, let's go ahead and see.
I think I have the antithesis of his hot take.
Go for it, Mimi. What's your hot take?
I'm a hater, and I have a hater's hot take. Every VCT-CN team at this event will go winless. Not a match.
So, I kind of agree, but like I think that's kind of mild though.
After seeing FPX,
I would say I would say
FPX is in the group of death.
the thing is, it's mild, but at the same time, I'm going to just say pretty spicy just because I think FPX is going to beat Sentinels. So I think from this point,
it's possible, but
I think that's pretty spicy.
I think that
A lot of people are gonna
FPX
be mad at you
have.
for that.
And I don't care.
It's the classic hurdle, I think. We saw it with EDG. Getting over the hump of like that first big global win, I think is really hard to do, which is why I don't have faith in FPX. I don't really rate their either Billy.
What about EDG versus Foot or someone like that? Do you think that EDG won't win that game?
I think it's possible, but
Okay.
I think that stylistically, EDG actually plays pretty similar Valorant to what Foot does,
Yeah.
and I think they've grown a lot over time. That I think that'll be a close game.
Yeah.
But I edge out Foot in that one. I don't
Fair.
think the teams are going to get rolled, especially EDG and FPX, but I don't think they're getting a win.
Okay.
I hope you guys are ready to be angry
And
at me.
this is your take, right?
This is my hot take.
Your take.
That you thought of yourself.
you thought of yourself.
I totally thought of it completely by myself. It's not like I'm jet lagged and my brain
That's
don't
Oh
work.
just
my
stupid.
God.
That is
Fnatic
just-
is the
that's
weakest
just-
EMEA team at
alright.
this event.
Where's the? Wait, sorry, one sec.
Wait
I'm
a
looking
minute.
for the
Our
stupid
producer,
pepper.
our EMEA
Where's
producer
the
just
stupid pepper?
booed me in my ears right now.
I don't have a. That was dumb pepper. I guess this is as close as it gets.
Is there a invalid option? Like that is not a valid take that
You
can
know,
be true?
I think that
They lost 3 maps across stage 2.
Literally,
and
since
playoffs.
Hero has played, they haven't lost.
I'm just gonna say this right now, okay? Space made this, all right? Space made
Literally a
this.
second ago,
all
I came
right?
up with this myself, and now-
it was not me, okay? And
But
in
you
true,
agreed to do
In
it.
true
I'm gonna leave this
Washington,
here.
D.C. fashion, I will blame someone else. So there you go, folks. That's
You
how
wouldn't
American
last
I
a
am.
day in Washington.
I truly would not. I truly would not. I'll crumble. I'll just crumble like a piece of paper.
Somehow
All
that
right.
was a worse take than mine. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to people being mad at, not me, be mad at Space.
It's not that crazy,
Or
Tom.
Sentition.
I kind of messed with it.
Yeah, I know.
All right, here's your schedule for today, folks. You got DRX versus Crew Visa, and then after that, it's going to be Fnatic versus Billy Gaming. This is going to be interesting for Billy because, honestly, they're going up against, a weak juggernaut in
Sure.
Fnatic, as I had
Yeah,
said in my hot
the
take.
weakest EMEA team, so it
Yeah.
should be an easy game for them,
And
if
I mean,
anything.
against the 4th seed from EMEA, I think they're the favorite, really, if you think
the
about
full
it.
seed, technically the 1 seed.
Yeah,
but,
but that's, that's not true.
But we have a new thing that we want to share with you guys. The group, now that we have our favorites out and everything like that, and we're sharing our stuff, we got our pick'ems powered by AWS, and this is actually coming from the game, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
and
So-
it is from the in-game pick'ems that have been introduced now for this Champions. And it's really shocking to me to see GB, the team who you think is the worst EMEA team, with an almost 90% chance in the community's opinion.
The highest percentage
out of any
team.
That's so impressive for Fnatic.
Yeah.
They must have some really dedicated fans.
Once again, I plead the fifth. F-I-F fifth. Okay, I'm really nervous right now. You can tell I'm sweating.
Yeah.
All right, I just don't want to get attacked by people on the internet. Okay, so once again, Space made it, not me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fnatic fans would never like come after you for that and say that you're foolish or
There's
any
a
of
couple
those sort of
Fnatic
things.
fans in the audience
What's your
here.
Twitter
You should go
again?
talk to
Just
them.
for
It's Tom Biz.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
so here we go, folks. Now, all throughout Chance, make sure you wonderful people are using the hashtags VCT as well as VALORANT Champions, so we can, of course, feature your stuff on the broadcast. And while you got your phone out, why don't you go ahead and scan the QR code that just popped up on the screen. Take part in today's MasterCard fan poll. Which region is going to go 2-0? Is it Pacific, EMEA, or both? Because they're right now the teams that are, you know, like winning.
They've won a game.
They've won, yeah, exactly. So make sure you cast your vote. We'll go ahead and share in a little bit. Curious to see what we get.
I'm curious to see what you think after what you've said today.
You know what? Again, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. All right.
In true politician form, though, you did just choose to lie instead of actually saying what you believe.
How dare you? Now, today, DRX's Buzz will take the stage for his 4th straight champions. One of the few players able to make that claim. And this week, Paperton spoke with him about that incredible milestone and so much more.
Hey, what's up everybody? Paper Thin here, and I am joined by DRX's Buzz, the duelist specialist for the Korean squad. So first of all, Buzz, congratulations on making it to Champions. But your guys' road this year has been pretty up and down. You didn't qualify for Shanghai or Madrid. Now you make it to Champions, but it's a tough road to get here. You reverse sweep Paper Rex and then lose to Gen G in a close grand finals in Pacific where you took them to 2 overtimes. What's your mindset now coming into champs with you and your team?
To be honest, we didn't really expect it to win against Paper Rex, like even reverse sweep. But we are really happy that we could beat Paper Rex, and it's like we didn't beat them like for 1 year, so we are very happy, and we are very sad because we could done that in the final like 3-0. We could done that, but we couldn't finish the 2 hours the trophy. That was so sad, but we are like, for the champs, we are really nothing to lose. Let's give our everything to the fans. So we got nothing to lose, so we are very confident now.
Sure, for sure. And then you're actually one of a handful of players who's qualified for every champion so far. What does that mean to you as a player?
To be honest, qualified all the champions is very honor to me, and very happy that I could play all the champions. Exactly, this one is on the Seoul. I'm really happy that I can play on this stage again. But we played 4 champions, but still no trophy and still no grand final. So we'll try it. We'll try, but see. Maybe we have to see it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. This year, you guys have also had a lot of roster changes. You know, Stax leaves the team, and you've got Foxy9, Flashback, and Bane as some new players. That means you are one of the older players on the team. You're a veteran. You've had to step up, not just individually as a player, but as a leader on your team. How has that worked for you this year?
To be honest, this year was like a roller coaster for me. Like me and Mako and even the coaching staff had a pressure, I think. And for me, I have to do more good, like more better play, because for the young players, because I'm the one who have the experience in the team. So I'm trying to play better and better and make good vibe for the team. So the younger players don't make nervous and doesn't make mistake in the tournament.
Awesome. Well, you played great so far this year. Your performance in the finals was amazing. So I think us and all the fans are really looking forward to seeing you guys play again. And congratulations and good luck on your matches.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, DRX is coming in as the second seed from Pacific, and this new roster has brought, quite a bit toward this particular event here at Champions. But what I think is incredible is that we have not seen them at all throughout the year at the global level. So for them to be here now, to step up in the way that they have, and to really show the world that this team is not one to be slept on here, but this is going to be a tough challenge for this DRX team, without a doubt. Is going through a bit of a tumultuous season, to say the least.
I don't think many people would look at the beginning of the year, see them remove RB Zest, then get rid of Stacks, and be like,
Stacks,
yeah, those guys are making champions.
He was like the icon of the team.
Yeah.
He was their leader. He was the face of this squad. And in making that controversial move, they have leveled up.
Yeah, which is honestly not something that I saw coming.
No.
Right? Stacks has pretty much been the lifeblood of that roster. So for him
Who's the face? Like, he has all the iconic sort of moments with that guy.
It's him.
But they've stepped up. I think that's the thing. Like, Marco taking the leadership has been impressive. But I also think Buzz within the server, like, he was always very good, consistent. But now I feel like he's almost leading from the front in a lot of places. And, you even see in the interviews, he's now stepping up, doing them in English, speaking for the team as well.
Yeah, I think that those two guys have had to grow so much.
Yeah.
Buzz and Mako, they were like the kids of the team when DRX was making it to champs in 21, 22. Early on, they were the new stars coming out of Korea. But now they're the guys who have been there before and done this a million times, and they have had to find new stars around them. But it's worked, and I think what's so cool about this new DRX is they've kept a lot of what made DRX, the set plays, the really refined style where everything is super structured, everything is done together, but they've added some flexibility into that. I think they're giving more freedom, more opportunity for these players to do things individually at times, and in that way I think have evolved that classic DRX style to work in 2024.
It's impressive as well because they removed a lot of the older, more experienced FPS players. Like, you're talking about the experienced ones now, Marco being 22, Buzz being 21. He's going like, I'm the experienced one. These youngsters who are 1 year younger than him. It's like, it's impressive that they've been able to take that mantle for the team. It's now, can they go further than what the previous team achieved? And I think that's a different story altogether.
For sure, for sure. Well, Mika Fabs caught up earlier with one of the vets of DRX, a 22-year-old vet, if you will. It's Mako. What do you have to say over there?
Mako, 안녕하세요. It is good to see you, and of course, you are no stranger to the global stage. You and Buzz have been almost at every single champions, but for the rest of the team, this is their first time. So, what did you tell them to prepare them for this day? How did you hype them up?
Just enjoy it and guide yourself, and here we go. Yeah.
Love it. Eager to see it. Good luck.
Just enjoy it. Well, we'll see if DRX are able to do that against their opponent's crew Visa, excuse me. See, Tom, you almost screwed me up there. But we are going to see a very fun matchup. We get Buzz going head-to-head against Kesnet. This guy, Kez, has pretty much been the glue of this crew lineup. He's been on the team for a super long time, and on top of that, he's such a consistent performer for them.
Well, the fun thing is, I want to almost make it like a Star Wars reference. You know, when they're trying to destroy the Death Star, you have the little computer that's helping you out. That's Buzz. He's the computer. Kesnet, he does it off feeling.
He feels the force.
He's the guy who just comes into the server, and you're looking at him, and he's going, okay, I'm going to make a move, I'm going to make a play, and he is the central part of this crew roster.
GB's so happy.
Oh, I know. If it was wrestling, he'd be even more happy.
No, listen, I can love me some Star Wars references, okay? Don't get it twisted. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun contest between these two guys because really, I think, Buzz, always exciting, always dynamic, and the same thing can be said for Kesnet.
I think these two teams, in the way that their star player kind of defines them, have a pretty similar style. When you watch the attack sides, both these teams are really contact heavy. They have a lot of rounds where they're playing 4-1, where they're contacting up, and then once they get that first kill, that first contact, they're bursting into these really fast, really aggressive hits. And in that way, I think that this game will be pretty slow between the two of them on those slower attack sides, but squad really reliant on those stars, on these individuals being on point, because winning that first bit of contact is so important to then snowball the round into a win.
Yeah, well, we were talking earlier about, you know, I believe it was Buzz's multiple appearances at Champs and whatnot, but another team has also been able to do it multiple times, and that's KRU Visa. They've been here time and time again. Every single champions that we have had, KRU has been here for it. Now, the results have not been the greatest, but the first one, what a run that was, man.
I got to cast their game versus Gambit. It is still, to this day, the best game.
It's one of the best matches of VALORANT we've ever had. And I think for KRU, they've always been trying to reach the heights of that 2021 roster that made it. But this is a very different team. Kesnet is now the only player that remains. And they made a lot of moves throughout Americas, picking up Shy, who was on Leviathan, MTA going out of the roster, and then coming back in for Stage 2.
And being impressive.
Honestly, they looked really rough in Stage 2. They lost all but one match at the very end, barely made it to playoffs, but stepped up big time in playoffs to make it to another chance.
That's the thing, it's the KRU way.
Yeah.
It's when they need it most. Think about last year, what was it, 0-9 to make an LCQ run, but then they removed the
11
LCQ.
losses in a row,
exactly.
if you could include the start of the year.
It's crazy what this team is able to do when it matters the most, and that's what excites me coming into this, because I think realistically, you probably would edge things over to DRX with how they've done throughout the year. But when KRU get on this stage, when KRU make it to Champions, you go, there's always a chance.
There's always a chance.
But you do have to compare it to Champions LA last year, where they went on that miracle run and then swiftly went out. 0-2 and
we don't think about that.
We push past that.
I like stories.
But they are playing against,
I don't like stats.
If you want a story, DRX. Never gotten grouped to the champions. They always make it out. They're always making top 6. These kind of early stages is where this team historically has always shined.
Yeah, and it has been impressive, both teams' journey, you know, to get to this point here. For KRU, I think this is a squad. You give them an opening, you give them an opportunity, and they will take it. They've done it so many times. This squad, if you're DRX, you got to respect and you got to fear, because they can't turn it up on you in a moment's notice. But for now, they'll send it back over to Mika Fabs and hear from Kesnet about this upcoming matchup.
Hey Kesnet, it's good to see you and the team again, of course, because KRU has never missed a Champions so far. But is there a different mindset coming into this one compared to previous years? We have Dan here to help with some translation.
Dice que no has faltado a ningún Champions y ¿cuál es la diferencia de los años anteriores y este año?
Creo que este año tenemos un roster con mucho más mira y todos nos confiamos en cada uno de los que estamos y nada, creo que vamos a mostrar una muy buena cara este año.
This year, the roster that we have a lot of aim, and we're going to show a different face for this match and this tournament, rather.
Well, eager to see it. Good luck out there.
They're looking to show a different face here, and part of the reason why they're able to do so is because they picked up a pretty big player in the offseason. Someone who we thought was going to be just a last-minute sub ended up being a permanent fixture on this team. And of course, we're talking about Heat, the Brazilian player, the sole Brazilian player on this KRU lineup for the LATAM squad. Very impressive run that he has had so far, just playing in that supportive role. We know Heat is like the duelist guy, always wants to go in there and take the fights, but like a lot of other duelists that we've seen them migrate to other roles, he's found that success.
Yeah, he was a player who last year playing on MIBR, he was really unsuccessful. They were the second worst team in the league after KRU just barely escaping a winless season. And there was a lot of kind of discussion about Heat not being maybe the perfect teammate on that roster. There was some internal strife around that team. And I think his stocks really dropped, especially when you compare it to his early career in VALORANT. He made it to the first ever Champions in 2021. But now as a reformed player that have really learned from losing his opportunity on MIBR and coming into this KRU roster, he's back again.
Himself.
Yeah,
I think that's the coolest thing about it. You look at his overall agent pool, 68% of it is on Jet. So you kind of go like, oh, this isn't a guy who's going to be able to come in and he'll play your KO, your Phage, your Breach, your Gecko. Like, he's filling all of these initiator roles. And he looks good on it as well. Like, it's not just a last-minute plug-in that they've gone, screw it, let's just put this Jet guy into different positions. He's actually doing some of the supportive roles a lot better than expected.
Yeah, him and Kesnet as a duo are so important to the way this KRU roster plays. I think his utility has been on point. A lot of time, those duelist players that transition over to playing that primary initiator, you know what your duelist wants, you know how they want to play, and that synergy is super clear with him and Kesnet.
Yeah, for sure. But then, of course, he's going to be facing off on the other side of the stage stage there against Foxy9. And I remember, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember last year, right, this was the young player that was coming into the lineup. They weren't sure how they want to integrate him. But now he's in the team, fully, you know, a part of that system, and has been a big part of their success as well.
Yeah, I think it's a similar story. Like, he was again brought in as that sort of superstar, as actually Buzz taking the back seat in that roster. I will say, I think there's been a few more teething issues, at least on his individual level, but you can see the idea is there. Like, he wants to be in that back seat, putting out this utility, as we've seen from some of these legendary players. We talk about Stacks, you talk about Zest. That's the role he's trying to fill.
And the experiment last year was a failure, right? Like, the coaching staff, I think it was clear, didn't trust him to play at these global events. He was competing some regionally, but they'd sub him back out when they came into these globals. And I think that really put a lot of people off of this player, didn't think he could make it, thought there was something behind that. But now as a full-time member of this roster, playing on the Did Initiator, I think he has kind of reinvented his image in a really similar way to what Heat has done.
Yeah, I mean, he really just needed a little bit more time in the oven, really, when you think about it, because, like, you know, honestly, he started off, it was a little rocky, but, you know, you give him that time, more time playing on this stage, get a little bit more comfortable, and, well, the results now speak for themselves.
But he still never proved himself at a global event, and
Ain't that the truth?
It wasn't the perfect performance in Pacific. He wasn't the superstar that was promised just yet, but the question is who he needs to be for DRX to find that success internationally again, and that's what we're going to get answered at Champions.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of what we're talking about with, I think, both of these teams in general. Is this going to be a proving ground for one of these teams to go on, make a run, maybe do some damage, or is this going to be not ready yet?
Yeah, very true. Well, let's go ahead and, of course, talk about some of the players that are continuing to, you know, contribute to these lineups in such an effective manner, whether it's, you know, taking new roles, both as a player in-game or even out of game. And a good example of that is Mako, who we were talking before, stepped up in that leadership role for this team, right? He's being that guy who's going to be the voice in the server to guide the troops to victory. Question is he going to be able to do it as good as what we've seen Stacks do at the global level, you know, in years prior?
Well, it's also, does it affect his individual game? I think that's a lot of it, because this is a man that I think you go back a year or two, you're talking about the best controller, maybe in the whole world.
Absolutely. I think in 2022 and 2023, that was the conversation.
Wholeheartedly agree.
So you're now kind of looking at it like, okay, maybe the stats don't quite align in the same vein. He can still have those games, but it's, can he put the rest of the players into the same positions? And you've got Bane and Flashback who can definitely fill that void in terms of the individual kills.
Yeah, but it does feel like, as it stands right now, Mimi, that it's working out. It's going okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the calling is good when you watch them. DRX still plays a lot of set stuff where they kind of follow up the idea they had at the beginning of the round. They're not super, like, slow. Like, they are a slow team, but they're not like a super mid-round heavy team all the time. But when they do lean into that, I think it's been solid. But that is a direct comparison between these rosters where they both have had issues figuring out the leadership, figuring out the IGL. Yeah. In the middle of this season, the leadership got changed up for Crew. Melzer slotting back into that role. It's the same thing with DRX. Both these rosters are trying to find the right leader, the right direction to recapture that success that the organization had earlier in Valorant.
Kind of wild, considering you would think, like, we would have scripted it without, like, similarly, you know, like the stories of both of these teams, right? It's quite fascinating. And of course, this is truly going to be anyone's game here. We'll see how this breaks down, but it's time for the results of our MasterCard fan poll. Earlier, we asked you which region's going to go 2-0, and the results are in. And y'all said Pacific, and I don't disagree with that.
I would say both.
Yeah, I would say both as well. Like that means that quite a lot of people aren't sure if they think that Fnatic will be Billy.
I think that means a lot of people didn't understand the question.
I think that was you.
You put that evil out there in the world.
I'm the FPX hopium.
Yeah, remember, if you did not like the Fnatic
I'm going to go back and clip it.
Tweet at TomBiz. We already got a few of them.
And it's my birthday, so follow while you're there.
He also has Riot Gun Buddies.
Yes,
I do.
That's true.
Fun fact.
That's true. We're hearing the predictions for the talent, and that's right, baby. The lone Crew standout.
Okay, that's good, because you've uncursed the rest of us.
All right, bring me through the copium.
Yeah, well, okay. Honestly, it kind of goes to what we were saying before, right? Two similar teams, the way that they approach the game. I just think that if Kesnet has a performance like we've seen in America's a few of these games, it could be a problem, and DRX might not be ready to shut that down. That's the contingency. That's the croupium for me.
I'm okay with
now.
Kesnet Hopium. Honestly, I'm okay with that. At his peak, he can be the best player in any server.
And I think there's still potential for DRX to not be able to show what they did regionally at a global event now. It is really, I think, an expectation reset where they are now kind of an unproven roster with 3 new players coming in.
Do you know what the biggest change I'm interested, though, is we've seen recently that Termi has stopped wearing a suit.
No way.
And I want to know. Yeah, he's been wearing like the proper like jackets and everything, the merch. I want to see if it, like when he comes out in a moment, does the suit come back for Champions?
Ooh, I would.
Do you think they're more or less likely to win if he wears the suit?
Maybe less, honestly, because I think they've been kind of they've been frying since he stopped wearing the suit.
That's true. I mean, they almost won Pacific, reverse swept Paper Rex. They looked good.
It could be the suit. All right, folks. Well, here we go. Let's get this show started, shall we? Got DRX versus Crew Visa, Fnatic versus Billy Gaming. Day 2 of Champions Seoul is going to start right now.
어, 21년도에는 베를린 챔피언스, 이스탄불 챔피언스, 로스앤젤레스 챔피언스. 하지만 꽤 좋은 성적들은 다 못 거두고 항상 아쉽게 졌었는데 이번 챔피언스 서울은 한국에서 하는 만큼 저희한테는 진짜 거의 마지막 기회다.
Yo creo que es mantener y confiar y tener siempre resiliencia, nunca dejarte caer.
Creo que lo más fuerte de RX es su juego en equipo, sus rotaciones, que todo lo que hacen es con un sentido en conjunto. Es como un equipo que saben qué hacer en cada momento.
크루랑 저희랑 이제 오래된 팀이고 국제전도 엄청 많이 나간 팀인데 아직까지도 못 만났었잖아요. 근데 이번에 만나게 된 만큼 누가 더 이제 강한지 좀 알아볼 시간인 것 같고.
我觉得对于我个人的目标而言，我可能不会太去看重那种，比如说这一次打了第几名这样子。我更看重于是我们整个团队的就是表现吧。
For me, the worst one was probably losing champs. We had a really great year last year. Like we won 2 events in a row, something nobody has ever done. We all wanted to win champs.
我觉得 Fnatic 是一支，相对于其他球队来说，可能纪律性和个人能力都要更加出色的队伍。
BLG, it was a bit funny that we got them because, of course, last year the upset they made on like a team that everybody thought they would like go really far. You cannot underestimate them.
因为前面已经提到这儿了，然后我已经幻想着我站在椅子上，站在那个桌子上，跟着台下的观众互动，让他们喊BLG BLG BLG。
DRX.
And here we go. Crew versus DRX. 2 teams with very, very similar paths. And you're right, Tom. Termi's not wearing the suit. Uh-oh.
Do you want to change your prediction? It's not too late.
I'm still committed.
Not too late.
I'm still committed.
Both these teams have had such similar trajectories, having huge success for the organization early in Valorant, both making every single chance. But now here it's a chance to kind of set things anew with these completely fresh rosters. And now it's interesting. Crew gonna leave their permaban open in the pool.
there was like
interesting.
I will say KRU are playing a dangerous game. You've left your permaban in, you've picked Haven, which historically and recently has been an incredible map. So you're kind of, I think the closest map is actually the one that was chosen by DRX.
I will say I really like the Haven for KRU when they played it regionally in Americas.
Okay.
They're one of the teams picking up the Breach Neon stuff, and I was impressed with how good Kesnet was on that Neon role. I've always thought about him as kind of a one-trick Jet Raze player, but his movement was good. I think a lot of the set stuff they had planned as well were really on point, so excited to see how that matches up against this DRX squad.
And here's your agent select here. You're going to get that Neon Breach yet again. DRX not really going to do that much different either. You'll see Buzz right back on that Jet.
Both these teams, you know, classic Valorant squads, and I think we're going to get some classic Haven. They're both playing a Breach Sova comp. There's going to be a lot of early fighting for areas like A lobby. Both are going to lean really heavy, I think, into these set retake ideas that are so powerful with that initiator combination.
Also, DRX, as of recent, have had some incredible attack sides. So them starting out, I think versus Gen G, they had a 10-2 attack versus Gen G the last time they played. So watch out for that one, because KRU, as you said, they're going to almost have to lean into the retake, because I don't think they'll beat the set strats.
We're going to have to see how these rookie players perform on that stage. 3 new members for DRX. It's their home here in this Artium, but it's a new team, it's a new style they're playing against, and it's new pressures.
Oh, this is going to be exciting, so let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. 2 guys that surely have perfect pick'ems because they're so smart. Isn't that right, Brennan Sideshow?
I think we do. I mean, mine has been...
Oh, yours is ruined.
Too much Senko, I think.
It's only been 1 day.
It's only been 1 day, yeah. I mean, okay, would you expect anything less? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. We got DRX KRU here as our opening match of day 2 of Champs for 2024. And these are 2 storied orgs as well. The Destiny's been going into it. These are 2 teams that have never missed the Champs before. And they didn't want to start this year, here and now. But despite that fact, Josh, they've never actually played each other.
How wild is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised to learn that KRU and DRX hadn't clashed across all of the, not just Champs, but Masters events that they've been to as well. So we start here on Haven, and this pistol round to begin looks explosive. We've got 9 out of 10 players looking to control a tiny piece of square footage.
Yeah, classic A lobby fight about to be occurring. To cage the feign like there's only 1 player crossing here for DRX, but they've slowed it down still. And KRU now going to offload that util, but the stun's going to be connecting. Kesnet forced and pushed back and away. Melter with the blind is good connection. Dart to try and again repel and push and ward away. And in this carnage, it is DRX that are just leaving Flashback alone. A 1v2. Spike dropped down at his back, and he's trying to catch a timing of his own.
I like the reclear from Shy and Melzer, but now they've split up, and that's where the danger comes through. Does Shy have eyes on the spike? I think he must do, just based on the minimap.
Flashback, wrapping all the way around here. Just doesn't need... Oh, spotting one of the players, and he knows exactly where Shy is for the 1v1. But KRU coming up on top. That's a pistol round, granted and earned.
And that's immediately going to what Tom was talking about on the desk. Are you going to be able to stop DRX from taking map control, getting into their executes? He was talking about the fact that there were 10 attack side rounds for DRX against Gen G. Against Gen G! But to me, when I was watching the game, a lot of that was based on anti-stratting the Viper comp.
Yeah.
And the way that Gen G play this map. It's not just that DRX are amazing on attack side. Here, KRU stacked 4 players A. You can't do that every single time. And in this follow-up, they've only got 2 there. Kesnet, MTA. So mixing that up and trying to find the right timings to contest DRX is going to be super important.
And Mouse is dodging most of this util coming his way as well with a Bulldog in hand, Flash. Paranoia to supplement. Smoke to at least cut up the side as well. Buy a bit of time, kill trips as well. Helping him out. There is that plan online for DRX, so pocket change earned, a little bit of extra money, but overall KRU keeping it nice and healthy for the bonus.
Looking lovely. Now, bringing up bonus round stats again, because of course, you know, your boy's nerdy.
Yeah, you've been digging.
I have. But one of the reasons why I was digging into this game was that KRU have the lowest bonus round win rate out of all of the teams from EMEA, Pacific, and Americas, which is kind of wild.
That is weird, yeah.
And so even with them winning here, they're coming into the next round with 3 Guardians, a pistol. They've got no Vandals, no Phantoms. The way that they manage their economy, so different to the teams that are actually competent in the bonuses. So they've got to hit some crazy shots here. Otherwise, it's just about doing a little bit of damage to the economy.
Seeing it again, early fault line setting up. Going to be used to get Kesnet onto that line. There's a dart to worry about. Oh, he's missed it. 2 shots rattled away, but not able to claim it, so he is postured off and away. DRX, going for a quick pivot. Save themselves as well, trying to take this one out through Garage. The dash already active onto Buzz. He's going to be trying to get that first fight and engagement whilst he's into the back of the site. There's no one to meet him. Crew happy to give this one up. A slight pixel angle. Flashback still committed! And still holding it down. No one able to cross back up into Garage here, and at this point, round is basically wrapped up. Only 2 left to stand with MTA and Heat. Not much they can really do.
I don't think there was any chance there for the Crew players coming back through Garage. Even if they'd had rifles in hand, just far too snappy on the aim. Heat and MTA, they want to try to do a bit of damage, and that's a great opening shot.
Yeah. Need a bit more though, and already the flank is occurring. Flashback spots it out, and damage done to the remaining 2. So no bonus round, no increasing the what is it, like a statistical anomaly, I suppose, sitting at the bottom in terms of converting them.
Yeah. Again, if you were just winning it like a rifle round, 50% would be what you expect. Crew are sat at 24%, so they win less than half of what you would expect if the economy was even. So they really, really can't convert these bonuses. And you can kind of see why when they bring 3 Guardians into the round, but I don't think they were quite expecting to get mauled like that in Garage too. Crew going for a bit of a hard read though, heading into round 4. 3 players set up on B.
Yeah, heavy expectation, especially with Heat's position tucked into the back of the side. Just he's able to use that fault line in case they do commit into the B side.
So you see a smoke and a recon over towards A lobby, but there's no paranoia, there's no stun. You're pretty confident that Crew are not fighting super aggro, and here the cam tells you with decent confidence, nobody there.
It's a bit of a slow siege. It's a flash and a peek through, trying to take that Garage control. DRX making it seem like they're working over towards that area. Now back into A. They must have heard the drone that MTA used earlier, and he does have to commit his body, at least to try and get that mid-round information at the minute mark. And he's missing the spot here, almost a punish. Straight from Mako. Backs it up and away though, and reinforcements are arriving for Crew. Yeah, they're already fast. Ready to defend this again with the fault line. Util is going to be expended, pushed back and away. No one on that dart. Duty. Kesnet glides into the side. Smokes in their face. DRX might be able to persevere through the thick and thin of it. Shy's the last one left, and as the smoke dissipates, he's granted that easy angle again into the 1v1. Shots rattling. No casualties, but damage done. Flashback, he's low. Cam tagged up, and finally the kill here for Shy.
Nothing coy about that, is there? Swings out through heaven on the wide swing, the Mr. Rhinoceros. Yeah. He's won now 2 really important 1v1s, round 1 and round 4, against his counterpart, Flashback. Both firing, both hitting shots, but crucially Shy winning out on the clutches when it matters to keep Crew ahead. I'm watching, by the way, Kesnet zipping around on these A defenses. Loves fighting, always happy to take a fight, and on Neon on this map, sliding in to play his teammates in. DRX are going to find it difficult to deal with that, I think.
The cam and a dart immediately broken. Now Flashback is ahead of a lot of this. Off angle again played, this box position by Melzer. A lot of bullets landing, but did he think it's cleared? Oh my, peace of mind is not there for him, and the Spectre in the hands of him, it's short work. What's the DRX team? Only 3 of them left to survive into this as well. Norofet will give away quite a bit of info.
It makes Crew think they need to shore up this A side of the map, so Kesnet's going to come and try to reinforce MTA. But basically, Crew just need to not overextend. They're in a 5v3. You don't want to give any opportunities back to DRX. And what a heartbreaker that is for the Korean squad playing in front of the crowd. Shocked, stilled here in the arena. They knew there was someone behind that box.
Yeah, maybe just feeling like the bullets that they did throw in were enough. An opener is what they need here. Cheeky kill. Melzer, he's not giving anything away. That is nasty. Jiggling onto the corner, a bit of a free fire. Okay, Phantom at work.
The ace.
He's on for the ace, yeah. 1 player left to stand, it's Bane, and he's being pressured, pushed, corralled into the corner. Kesnet steals away, but it's flawless at the end of the day.
That's a tragedy. Since joining Crew, Mel's has never had an ace for them.
Oh, okay.
And Kesner's just stolen it away.
That's brutal. That is brutal.
Fair enough. It's giving texture.
It is giving texture.
I mean, what is... it's a tragedy, honestly, that DRX get caught by that. The spot behind the box and the Spectre spray down as well. It's not even like it was a Phantom, a Vandal. They died slowly, realizing their mistake. Crew are running away with this one.
They are.
Right there.
This is DRX ran down in terms of the money onto that half bite. Taking it slow and steady to begin. Again, looking towards garage control. Close quarter weaponry, so it makes a lot of sense here, but not the beginning they were hoping for, not in front of this Korean crowd. Going to be making their way now over towards the seaside. Shock darts, at least to remove most of this one here inside towards the cage. Here's the footsteps.
Not again.
Free fire, no way is Shy surviving into this spot, and we will eventually be dropped. Melza, Paranoia's dished out. The rest of his team now following suit as well. They want to get themselves into the action, into the fray. It's Kesner, overdrive in his hands, and he's lighting them all up. Another 4K dropped into his lap. This time it's Kesner's turn.
And another ace stolen away as well. That's fair enough. I mean, that is karma for Kesner, isn't it? DRX are going to take a tactical timeout here. Things are spiraling out of control. That was just an eco round. But perhaps it felt like there was an opportunity to make something happen when Shy was caught over towards Logs. These flood defense, though, Crew, they're so rapid with it.
They are.
Kesner is going to be trying... If he's not at the tip of the spear, he's going to be the first one back into the site. Trying to get these big retakes, trying to flood in and help Melza, help Shy, those players that have smokes and can stabilize their positions onto sites. Crew are genuinely good here as well. They're the 4th seed coming in from Americas, and people might write that off. I say the 4th seed, actually. 3rd seed. Yeah. Apologies for that. They were the 4th seed last year. 3rd seed coming in from Americas, and like I said, people might write that off a little bit, but Haven, in my opinion, is clearly their best map, and I think they might even be like top 5 in the world at it. Which is a
wild
bold
statement.
claim.
Yeah, it is bold,
but I think the results recently have been backing it up. This Neon Breach Sova composition, they've been having a lot of success with it.
Yeah, and part of it is because what you already mentioned, you know, Kesner is either the tip of the spear or followed up shortly afterwards because it's on the Neon. He can constantly follow the action. Any noise cues the DRX are making, right now they're not hiding their intent enough, I don't think, as well. They're making a lot of noise as to, you know, which site they're trying to land on, and Crew are either flood defending or getting players to anchor in incredibly quick. Usually Kesner's able to supplement any sort of defense they're trying to get online.
You look at the pings on the minimap here, Bren, and coming out of the tactical timeout, this to me looks like Mako wants to ult into spawn. Seen a few teams do this, where you send a smoke into spawn, ult in there, that draws people back towards top garage.
And here it is. But awareness here, he's stuck in! And Shy, he waits around the corner, Mako's baited to stick the ult, it's perfection! And what a play to make still. Fight isn't over yet, but this man will not be denied. Rips away 2 of the lives of DRX. They're gonna give them up the site, but it's a consolation prize for DRX. And now Kesner wants to make another go of things here. It's a fault line to set it up. Another stunner's just going to be layered all the way through. Rifle aim is on point. Movement, just a cherry on top, and Crew cannot be stopped.
That was DRX's set play. That was what they took the tactical timeout for. That was supposed to send Crew spiraling. Where was the smoke for him to play inside? Why is he ulting into a position that's so close to where the C defender's going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really large mistake just in terms of the execution there from Mako. It's not how people are currently playing it. It's looking like something from a couple years ago rather than how teams are currently doing it.
It's got to feel bad for DRX. You take your time out just for that, and it gets dismissed as easily.
Get out of my way.
Already a fight going to be taken once more. Oh my goodness. And listen, the weaponry's bad right now for DRX, but these guys are hurting. Able to catch another one, but Stinger in the hands of Mako, it's not good enough. Calling for that pause, but Crew going for a reclear, contacting. Mako reveals his hand. Buzz is trying to clear the corner. Bladestorm, rapid fire. Only the one before the trade comes out. Mako is worried about these players. Paranoia does land. Blinded up, sprays them down. Collected into the corner, leaves it down to another 1v1. This time, the Smokes players off against each other, and that is a minute on the clock. There's time to work with. If you are Mako, you can slow this one down.
What redemption this would be as well for Mako. After he got caught coming straight out of the tag timeout in the previous incredibly important round.
Cover going out.
been a jarring game so far as well, just in terms of the pace that's been followed. DRX trying to match it pound for pound when crew are just running at them.
Mako has no idea where Melzer is. Hasn't shown himself, hasn't used anything that gives away his location. Just a smoke, could have been thrown from anywhere. And Mako doesn't even have info on site. From Mako's perspective, Melzer could be heaven, sight, walking short. He's got to take a gamble now. Time is low.
It's a smart play. Drops the smoke down over towards B to make at least it feel like to Melzer that he's playing over towards that B angle. Walks most of the way, but now committing to the plan, and that's heard. Melzer, paranoia. There's a connection. Drops himself down into hell. The reposition. He's out in the open. My God. Almost just plays it poorly, but again, the reposition away and the mind games are kicking into full effect in this 1v1. The smoke drop down. Melzer taps. And the issue, and hand being forced out of Mako. No stick inside, but pushes forward. Melzer catches him. A bullet to the brain, and another round one for crew.
DRX sorely needed that one. Mako did a decent job getting it down into the 1v1. The reposition over towards short, though, I think a bit of an overheat in the moment. After just being surprised by Melzer's positioning, coming out of being nearsighted, deciding not to reposition over towards somewhere where he could play the spike, like Hell, for example, maybe even Heaven in a spot like that. He could have possibly got to. And instead there, just gives up all of the space to Melzer. Spike down, smoke down, dominated. Kesnit's now going to pick up the operators. We go back into round 9, looking to take that peak short. This is where he fought before.
Yeah, I'm set up for it as well. It's a fault line. Onto the corner alongside the dart. No one breaks it. It reveals up onto 2 players. Jump spot. Damage through the wall. Mako's still alive, though. Now able to at least take up that space out towards A lobby and A long. Kesnit's gone for the pre-fire play, almost catching it right through the smoke.
This is how DRX had so much value against Gen G, though. They took a lot of A-long control like this, and then they just waited. Cut the noise, make a little bit of pressure over towards Garage, something like that, and then tried to go for an A re-hit. You can catch crew if they decide to go for info re-clears towards A-long or short, and then when you exec, the defenders are going to be spread out again.
Yeah.
So we're now finally, at the last moments of this first half, getting to see DRX playing their attack side how they would like to see it.
But the trouble is, crew are 1 step ahead already. They see that Foxy9 has this altar and the Rolling Thunder, and Kesnit, he's in a position to evacuate. Right by his side, he's going to be catching that first contact. The smoke's up and away, blind in his face as well, and he wants to get the hell out of there. They're giving up the site entirely. Kill collected down to Bane. That was just up through mid. Now the only silver lining potentially is that they might be able to get this plant down. Still, it's tapping away. It's forced out the Hunter's Fury, and they do have that Rolling Thunder in their back pocket. DRX desperate to get this plant down. Still with that player disadvantage. Here it is, sent flying. Might be used into a response, so it's just a 1-for-1. And Foxy9 does take down Shy. Still holding on to the site. Wall up and over to the top. The retake is going to be difficult. Again, Kesnit just blindly firing away and through with that op in his hands. He's hoping for an easy kill. Buzz dominating the smoke, but does not win out his fight. And up through heaven, and all has to be contained. Flashback of Mako, and down and out. A collection of kills in what looks like anarchy towards the end. Is that a 4 damage assist for... I mean, Mako's just spraying him down.
I think he's done 120 to him. And the fall damage has done the rest in that spot.
God almighty.
Not the greatest ending, but listen, it's 7-2. Crew will still be fairly happy with that. The post-plant breach ult ended up making the difference from Foxy9. He waited for that retake ult to come out. Throws one out himself. That cancels things. And then they made sure to keep rifles out, face towards heaven. But we're seeing another fight over A lobby again.
It's non-stop. The tempo increase is ridiculous here. Mako with another ult, this time up and towards heaven, but he's not going to be punished for it. Paranoia sweeps through. Smoke up into heaven for him to play around. He's waiting for the rest of his team to get in, and he leaps into the fray, trying to take the fight with a cloudburst in play, but already Kesnit is dropping them all like flies. DRX will have to answer back once more. This is ridiculous, man. Barely any time to catch your breath in the action, but 8-2, crew win the round out. They're not stopping.
I thought there was going to be a set retake there from crew. As soon as the 2 players on site went down, MTA and Kesnit, I thought, all right, the other 3, they'll probably group up and try something more sensible. Shy flew out of heaven like Batman into the site, and Melzer was right there looking to back him up. I mean, these players are getting so much value out of the distractions that their teammates are going for. They're just willing to put their bodies on the line for each other. That's a good teammate right there.
Only 2 rounds left in this first half, and it feels like we've just barely begun.
Yeah, the pace is incredible.
It's ridiculous. There's been no slowing down. DRX just getting sucked up into that whirlwind tempo. Crew happy to oblige into it. This time they are giving up most of this side, but they're setting themselves up as a paranoia, and the fault line out through into the back again. And already this util is just a little bit too late and delayed. Foxy9 presses the advantage through the smoke, but the spike dropped down now, and everybody once more falls here for DRX. And yes, again, it's an eco round for them, but they need anything they can get at this point. And Crew, they've just got a handle on this entire half.
There's nothing that DRX are able to do to stop this flood defense strategy. Really, one of the teams that's the best at dealing with this kind of stuff is Fnatic. If you watch how they play their attack sides, they'll do pump fakes into sites. They'll run and execute, but they don't go all the way deep into the site. They run their exec, they take a little bit of space, let's say like the front area of C. And then, rather than pushing the backside, they just wait. And they just wait for the defenders to fall into them. We're not seeing that. DRX are getting sucked up into the pace of Crew. They're getting dragged into it.
Oh my, what a shot.
And plucked away.
That's Kesnet pre-fires onto the corner. And that's a Hunter's Fury gone for DRX. They were hoping they could potentially get a pick onto the C side.
The ops are everywhere.
Set up. They're in the walls, man.
Well, that's the advantage of having a blooming economy.
You just don't expect it, but this is them trying to make a good go of it. DRX in through into the B sides. Rifles into their hands. Back up Wavenry. There's no slowing it down. 10-2.
Tom was talking about a 10-2 half the other way around when DRX attacked into Gen G. Could not be more different here. Crew have arrived on the Champions stage, making a statement. This time, they're determined to do something. This champs, more like 2021 perhaps, than 2022 and 3.
Exactly, we're gonna see if that pace just keeps on going into the second half.
Oh, come on. Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
This is a Crew team that is looking for that redeeming qualities, I think, as well. They've made every single champs since VCT's existence, but the trouble is they only get out of groups one time. It was in 2021 is when they last actually made that mark on that international stage. It was a long, long time ago. It's a different age and era. This time, however, for Haven, the opening match against DRX, one of the hometown favorites, they have come out swinging.
They certainly have. And DRX used to have this aura about them at international events. They would always dominate the opening game, and they would always make it out of groups. This is a new version of the team. They're looking to build towards the future. At the moment, they're still behind their past. They're trying to hunt for those top 3 finishes. They'd love to get some kind of turnaround here early on.
Bane's going to catch the contact of these players out through a lobby. Buzz, an attempt to flank and play himself into the angle, but Kesnet's not slowing down, and there's no util to help out. Bane is just isolated alone on an island. There's no helping him out with the same pace that Crew were showcasing. Even a flank timing a Buzz as well. It's going to come to no avail, but he does earn himself at least one kill, but can't land the second shot. Shy surviving, Paranoia offloaded and flashed into his face, but flashback, again he's pushed forwards. Away from the rest of his team, disconnected, and it leaves it just down to 2. Mako, it's a nice shot into the 2v2, damage done to either side. Anyone's game, it comes down to these angles and timings, the 1v1. Melza versus Foxy9. Can hear the footsteps running around, but Melza wins it out.
Huge from KRU to push them even further into the lead. These two organizations actually had a bit of a bet going before the game began about who could get more kills with their respective bundles. On broadcast, has to be on broadcast. Melza has just done it for them. Those are the first 3 kills with the KRU bundle or the DRX bundle that the camera caught today.
Yeah.
3-0 on top of the 11-2 scoreline that's already there.
No, I don't know what they're playing for,
KRU
but
are eating. They're eating today.
Yeah, they're eating good, man. They want to get to dinner. They're not slowing down, are they? Fast A lobby take. Dart has to be respected, so Buzz is going to be using just a dash to disengage.
Yeah, maybe they've got dinner reservations and they want to. They're like, let's get rid of DRX real quick. Just a blip in the road.
This is unreal.
They have forced here, DRX. They've got to.
And you have to.
They're 11-2 down. But can they do something? You know, chunk them down with the Marshall, finish them off with the Stinger. It is a fairly even buy.
Committal here by DRX. It's Bane and Buzz. Smokes in their face. KRU don't want anything to do with it, though. Going to re-explore different areas and avenues. They haven't broken any of this util that's been set down, laid down by flashback. You know, mid-trip, garage trip still active, but DRX haven't moved bodies away from those areas.
And it looks like KRU might have found an open C site. I wonder how much they're going to contact up. One of the biggest things in the current meta is noticing these retake setups and contacting into them, not using too many ults or pieces of util. That was fairly light. They've still got some decent post-plant util to use here.
Going for the plant now. DRX looking to regroup now and take this one, potentially again. Fast at their disposal. It's going to be that Paranoia again to try and pave the way, but already just being chewed up straight through the choke points. I mean, flashback makes a decent go of things as well, but they just can't get past anything right now. KRU, an absolute chokehold onto the C site, and this is them inevitability that they're going to be reaching that 12th round. Trying to speedrun 112 the entire event at this point.
And I am worried about what this is going to do to DRX. This is not the same team that had all the confidence to be able to make it through groups and get to lower bracket finals and try to break that glass ceiling for Pacific and for Korea. That's already been done by Gen G. DRX at this point, they are rebuilding. They've got rookie players on the team. 3 of them, Foxy9, Flashback, Bane.
Oh my.
And they've got a brand new IGL, Mako, who, in his own words at the press conference, says he wouldn't say he was entirely comfortable or used to the role of IGLing. If you get 13-2'd on your opening map, admittedly not your map pick, but a map that you're comfortable with, I'm worried about the mental being rattled here.
It does rattle you, I think. And it's a big test now for this DRX team. How are they going to pick themselves back up after this? At this point, already looking ahead to Abyss, and that's a map that's essentially a middle ground, I think, for both of these teams, if you're even looking at the strength of it. But here we stand. KRU not willing to hold back in the slightest. It's a fault line. Util going to be used again on either side. A bit of a handshake in terms of the darts. Bane with the drone. Looking for that info. Going to be trying to hide away. Only one player revealing themselves. Buzz onto the off angle, but he's not expecting it across their placement. It's sky high. Pre-aim for Shaq, but he's not in the server. He's nowhere near.
Cage triggered.
I do like the idea there as well. Mako gave him a little smoke that you could barely see so that you could try to play like anti against the recon dart and unexpected in the corner. Didn't work. KRU looking to close out.
Yeah, trying to pause into the round to at least make them stim in. A re-exploration is punished in kind. Any short plays as well. Dealt with, dismissed, and that is the map closed out. 13-2, KRU. Domination. It's the only way to describe it.
If there's going to be one team that spots a weakness and drives it home with supreme confidence, it's going to be a Kesnit-led KRU.
Not willing to take a step back, not willing to make the same mistakes as prior events. It's a KRU that is looking empowered. And now Abyss coming up. As we already said, a middle ground map for both of these teams. Who the hell knows which direction it's going to be going in.
Bye.